All right. Well, welcome back. People are still coming in. That's good. I feel kinda that the answer to why everything is horrible right now, how you just got in Kindle, everything horrible because of stuff like pull requests and meetings and stoplights, and how to fix it. You already know. Write monods. That's pretty much it. Thank you very much. Now we'll go a high level. We're not talking about code a little bit, but we're going to talk about other stuff as well. So Enshittification. Enshittification is a fascinating word, which basically means goes to shit. And the interesting part about it that it was voted as the word of the year a couple of years ago by the Academy of English Language or something like that. And a couple of interesting thoughts about this. Wait a second, wait, obligatory. All right. First of all, the choice of color for the word enshittification, I think it's very on point. Other nominants are also very interesting on this particular year. Like, didn't go. Oh, anyway, enshittification. The word was invented by this guy, Cory Doctorow, who is very famous in the geek community by being geek. He's an author of sci-fi. He's also XD. That's kind of the top achievement of. He also came up with the term in a broader sense that we're going to use it today. So enshittification, when platform starts to exploit its user base at the expense of the user experience. Basically, that's kind of the quote. And the way we met it is like that. Platform gathers users by providing value, and then critical mass of users log in, and then platform stops providing value, selling its users. I'm sure you can think about not only one, but multiple platforms that went through this transformation in the last like decade, 15 years, whatever, right? There's some names come to mind. Well, this is definitely true because this is our observed reality. We're going to talk about something more less broad and more reducted, and that's technical enshittification. It's kind of related, but also not, because the reason why everything is bad in technology might or might not be because the platform wants to sell users and just think about money and stuff, but also for another reasons that we're going to cover today. My name is Baruch Sadogurski. I'm at JBaruch on all those platforms that you think about right now. And I'm head of developer relations in a company called TaxCare. And what we do is provide endless life support for security patches for libraries and applications, including Java. So if you are stuck on Java 8 or Java 11 and you have to use the reference of Java libraries, for example, Spring 2, and you are in danger, and talk to us, we will fix it. My personal journey is I started as a developer 25 years ago, and then I went into DevOps with another company that you might have heard called Jeff. And recently I got very passionate about developer productivity. This talk has to do a lot about developer productivity. Java champion, going back to the Java part, and wrote a couple of books about Java and DevOps, DevOps tools for Java developers and liquid software. But the most important slide of this talk is this. If you go to speaking.jbaruch, and thank you Switzerland for abuse of the top level domain, you'll find the slides already uploaded there. You'll find the video that I'm just checking that I am recording right now, so you will have the video in a couple of hours. All the links for everything in the original blog post and Doctor about Enshittification. Fascinating read or watch, whatever you prefer. You definitely should do that. And all the links are there. QR code for you to scan right now, or conveniently in the bottom of every slide. It's right here, but also in the bottom of every slide. So QR code is going away in 3, 2, 1. All right. Yeah, so my favorite Venn diagram in software engineering is this. I will give you a second to process. And then to relate. And then go like, yes. Yes. There is a reason. And that's what we will try to figure out today and what to do with it. So generally, everything is getting worse. If you feel that way, it's not only your feeling, it's objectively getting worse. Stuff like operating systems losing your files. Operating system has one job. It's a storage for files. And when it doesn't do that, it doesn't look good. Stuff like, I don't know if you ever saw advertisement by Apple. Their slogan is privacy. That's Apple. Well, kinda. A couple of years ago, they had the most horrendous privacy breach of all times in our entire industry. You probably remember there were a couple of weeks that you can call someone on FaceTime and start seeing their video before they actually accepted your call. That was pretty bad. And what was worse is that they actually didn't discover it. It was discovered by some Fortrunner's mom, teenager who was playing Fortrun, when she observed him and saw that, and she actually tried to reach to Apple, and they didn't respond for a couple of weeks, not even acknowledging that it exists. And that was obviously very embarrassing for a company that claims that they run on privacy, and privacy is their bigger thing. Twitter and the X and all that, obviously we have a lot to say about whoever runs it right now, but the problem actually, one of the biggest problems begin way back. So again, I don't know if you are a user, but if you are, they have a very annoying bug with auto-scrolling. You open the app, you try to read what's on your screen, and in a matter of seconds, what's on the screen disappears, and something else, which is more updated, comes in. In 2021, Twitter support back then promised that they finally acknowledged the problem and gonna fix it. It was already there a couple of years old, so it was probably around 2017 when people start to get annoyed with it. And should I just say that until now the problem is still there. Now people are creative. You know what people do? They create an automation on iPhone or Android or whatever that will take a screenshot when the app opens. And then, if there was something interesting there that they were going to read, they go to the gallery, open the screenshot, and continue reading. It's that bad, yes. All right, so another company that we all know had a slogan, move fast and break things. Well, at least in the past, they did move fast. What's new on Facebook in the last 10 years in terms of technology, I don't think anyone can name at least one feature, but what they do is they make things. 30,000 current bugs on their platform open, that's a lot of bugs. I guess my favorite story of how our industry looks is the story of LastPass. LastPass is a password manager, and their single job is to protect our passwords. When they had the first breach in 2015, I was a pretty customer, and when that happened, I was like, okay, shit happens. They had this security incident, but now they are going to double down on security, so I'm pretty safe. Well, they had 2021, 2022, and many more minor security breaches. Their app is about storing passwords, nothing else. Needless to say that I'm not their customer anymore, and no one I know sticked with them after that. What else? Oh yeah, speaking about hacking, if it's down, no one can hack it. There is a company called CrowdStrike that does endpoint protection. And the best protection they can come with is taking down all the endpoints that they protect, because if it's down, no one can hack them. That happened about a year ago, July 19th. Yep. Almost a year ago now, and the biggest impact was on the airline industry, especially in the United States. All the three major airlines, Delta, United, and American, were taken down for at least 24 hours. Delta had problems for a week after that. So I flew on this day, and that was absolutely surreal picture. You go through the airport and you know how there are all the advertisements on one side and all the like arriving and departing planes on the other side, and it's all monitors running Windows. So you go through two walls of blue screen of death. That it's endless. Everything is blue ahead of you, and it's all blue screen of death.
Did you take a photo?
Yes, I did. Yeah, no, yeah, I should put it there. That was absolutely surreal, and then something magical happened. There was one airline that was not affected at all, like a major airline. It's called Southwest. And what I did when I came to United Counter, and they see their representatives, it's all blue screen of death here, it's all blue screen of death here, and I'm like, what I'm gonna do? And they're like, we have no idea. We have not even, there is no even way for us to start helping you, because all we see is blue screen of death. There is nothing we can do. And then I go to Southwest and I'm like, well, can I buy a ticket for, like, you have a flight in 2 hours? And they're like, sure. And like, and I flew home. Magic. This magic called Windows 3.1. Southwest runs on Windows 3.1 until today. I'm not kidding. This is the only reason why they were in down. CrowdStrike doesn't have an agent for Windows 3.1.
How do they have internet?
The internet doesn't run on Windows. Yeah. It's like, it's not, it wasn't an internet issue. So anyway, I've looked on, but running on Windows 3.1 is not great. And Southwest learned the hard way actually a year and a half prior. They have a complete meltdown over Christmas and New Year week, that they were completely paralyzed because they ran on Windows. No modern software, airline scheduling software knows how to run on Windows 3.1. They do it by phone. I'm not kidding. The pilots and the flight attendants actually call in on a line. There is a human on the other side of the line, and they tell them what their schedule is. Now, what happened is it was a bad weather, and there was a delay, like cascading delays. And then people there was a crew that's supposed to board a plane, their plane is delayed. What they do is call in to ask what they're doing next. And obviously, because there was a weather front on like half of the United States, everything was delayed, so everybody called in. Obviously, the phone system completely crashed. They waited for hours on the line to get their next assignment. When they're doing that, they didn't go anywhere. So even the planes that were available somewhere didn't have a crew. So for a week, nothing worked. And this is thanks to not being updated from 3. That's Pasha. because my son was supposed to buy one, and obviously he didn't. In any way, what can possibly go wrong? Will it get any better with AI? Probably not at the moment. There are already scientific research that actually prove that when we add AI, the 40% of the code has vulnerabilities in that. And this is for obvious reasons. AI vulnerability is and how to tackle it or prevent it. It's actually even worse. It invents new types of vulnerabilities. For example, a very clever supply chain attack that only came into existence because of AI is squatting the hallucinating package names. So AI pretty consistently hallucinates frameworks that do not exist and add them at dependencies, and then our dependency managers try to fetch those frameworks, those packages from central registry, Maven Central, NPM registry, and what's not. And some clever people think, what about they would be able to do so? And they created the packages with those names, put them on Maven Central and NPM registry, then generate code that shouldn't have worked because those packages did not exist, actually managed to download them, and they get security vulnerability. Sweet. Okay. The story we're going to stick with because of the amount of insider information we got about. And this is the story of Sonos' new app. So Sonos is a bunch of hardware equipment, like headphones and speakers and this kind of stuff. And they launched a new app May 7 last year that, according to their official press release, had a number of issues. Now, just a tiny bit of issues. This is their rating 1.2, only like a couple weeks after the release. Now, the only reason why it's 1.2 because Google Play Store you cannot put 0 stars. Well, this story is extraordinary because we have, as I mentioned, a lot of insider information on what went wrong, and why, and we're going to use it when we're going to talk about the reasons. Okay, stagnation. New features. How about new features? What's new in the latest Android or iOS? Well, there is obviously the terrible redesign coming on iOS 2026. But aside of that, nothing new. They're all the same, not only with the previous version, but also between each other. And nothing new happens. Windows 10 versus Windows 11. Anyone knows any difference? Except of Pasha, because he's just love to argue. Well, and this is why that's the graph of the adoption. Adoption does not exist because if you don't know what you're going to get in a new version, you probably don't want to upgrade anyway. Speed of innovation. Now, when people decide to do something new, how long it takes them? Well, I said that slapping chatbot on it doesn't count, but even when someone decides to slap a chatbot on it, it takes ages. So, Amazon Alexa promised us that they will integrate AI into their assistant back in September 2023. They announced it comes soon, in the next few weeks. I don't have a date for it, but that's probably like 3 months ago. So I don't know how do you define next few weeks, but 3 months, it's like, what, 13 weeks or something? It's still not there for the majority of the people. I just heard the first story that someone actually got it, and guess what? It's pretty stupid, but that's another story. Yeah, Apple tried to come up with a wireless charger in 2019. They canceled the project because they couldn't deliver. Sorry, they canceled the project after 2 years. 2 years of understanding that they are not capable of producing a wireless charger. That's quite extraordinary. Oh yeah, my favorite story. Who remembers that? Google improving its sign-in page with more modern look and feel, and the new look is coming soon. I remember it because I was really curious. I'm like, okay, what's going on? What's going to happen? This, what I saw when I tried to sign in with Google for months. This is what changed. They literally rearranged a couple of elements on the screen, and it took them, from the time they decided that they're going to announce that it's coming soon, months, many, many months. Like, right? Well, the stories about Elon's promises come through in Tesla. That's a story of its own. The first version of autonomous vehicles was done in September 2013, 12 years ago. Promised to be delivered in 2016, 9 years ago. Needless to say, we are still there. $40,000 2021, released in 2024, had under 300 miles of range and costs 2.5 times of that. So yeah, not really close and really, really, really behind schedule. Okay, bloat. Now, what is bloat and why it's important? I can promise you one thing that you didn't expect in this talk is a quote from Stalin, but you have it anyway. So Stalin said quantity has a quality of its own. What he meant is that if he throws enough bodies of soldiers on any other technology, he will win. And the history shows that he was right. What we mean by that is something else. Quantity might have a bad quality of its own as well. What bloat does, it increases the surface of attack. Why bloat is still software's biggest vulnerability is a great blog post written recently by Daniel Zender. And what he claims is that the amount of code that we have to do anything is so insane that somewhere there are multiple ways to attack our code which is not protected because we don't do our job, just because sorry, there was a, yeah, we're likely looking at over 50 million active lines of code to open a garage door. What are the chances that there are clever avenues of attack in 50 million lines of code? The chances are there is. And garage door is an entry to our house, which is now effectively protected. Scary stuff. Now, are better for that. State of supply chain report. Quarters of a million malicious packages discovered in the problem is that it's very hard to simplify things. It's so hard that some companies that definitely have the ability to do almost anything with software Facebook app on is 500 megabytes of code. Should we simplify it? Yes. Can we do it? Hell no. What we're going to do instead, we're going to do now, which is the same, and it's 1/10 of a size. Because we will not simplify this monster, we'll just do it from start. Fun in the room, at least by times obviously Google Chrome. It's like, hey, good morning. I open Chrome. Are you trying to render the entire internet at 50 gigabytes for rendering just your morning appetite? The problem with Chrome is that it's not only Chrome. Well, yeah, some memes for you because it's fun. Yeah, so the problem with Chrome is it's not only Chrome. Almost all modern browsers are run on Chromium, which is Chrome, which means that all of it run exactly like Google does, like Chrome does, and it's not only the browsers. Every extra instance is on Chrome, and this is not the stuff we use every day, like Slack and GitHub Desktop, Trello, and Discord, you name it. So basically, you run multiple instances of Chrome, and every one of them consuming the device for work, and this code, another example of completely unjustified bloat is PDF reader. So here is one PDF, some PDF, PDF pages. Some PDF is in megabytes. And this is Acrobat Reader, which also renders PDF pages, and that is 900 megabytes. Why? There are ideas. What happened here is kind of weird. Probably some memory glitch, but the trend is absolutely unmistakable because Java. At the end, it looks really, really bad. Feature mismatch. When eventual features are out, they're probably not the features that we want. Example of Windows 11, they moved so many features in, and to add other features in Windows 11, we not because the feature that we move doesn't make any difference for us. Here is in quote for very reason. In the day since after the release, customers have complained about features like sleep timers and no ability of any playlists. This app is doesn't have the ability to build the playlist. Speaking of feature mismatch, is the new app. Let's talk about why. Why all this is happening. So, source gives us a window into what happened during the development of this app, and this is a very good example. What's going on now? They had Visual basically told the story. And most important, to get new features out of the door, developers have to write code. I have bad news for you, developers don't write code. They do other stuff instead. Median code time per developer a day is under an hour. This is not just you that is overwhelmed with stuff which is not writing code. This is everybody. Out of your 8-9 hours a day, you write code less than an hour. Scary? Of course. The reason, one of the reasons is management. Because when you're in management, you can screw up things in many different ways. Yeah, so worker, so what happened? Chief product officer reportedly introduced the company reorganization. People have been following, yeah. So basically, organizations just for their reasons. People so they've been Right, so basically reorganization just because before a release of a new critical app, probably not a great idea. Bad organizational habits can definitely kill developer productivity, and we have research that proves that. Dr. Gloria Mark researches attention, human attention, for more than 10 years. That's her new book that is out last year, called Attention Span. Couple of interesting facts. We're going to do a quiz. First, just shout it out loud. How many times you think you look at your email during the day? Just shout. 3 times? 5 times? 20? Yeah, we ran out of hands. 20? 95, okay. 42. Yeah, well, obviously 42 is always the right answer. Well, more closer than 95 to anything else. 77 times a day at average. The person who said that he's looking for an email 3 times a day is either outlier or doesn't realize how many times they actually do it. Okay, so another question. When you have, let's say, a build that takes longer than a couple of minutes, and you switch to read emails, one of the 77 times, how long it will take you to get back to check if the build has successfully passed or failed? 5 minutes? 26 minutes? 10 minutes? Anyone?
35 there.
35. Yeah, 26 was very close, actually 25. So it takes, on average, for average person, 25 minutes to get back to the task at hand after interruption. 25 minutes. So if your build is longer than 2 minutes, how long is your build?
25 minutes.
25 minutes. That's bad, by the way. Okay, artificial deadlines. This is a very bad idea. The Art of Letting Go is a great book. The Art of Not Letting Go is not a book, but it's something that so everybody's them. You cannot release this up this date. The management didn't listen. It was artificial deadline. By anything, just decided they're going to release it, and that's the deadline, and we know the result. They're drawn in technical depth. Technical depth is a real problem. You can create value if you are drawing, and that's exactly what happened to Sonos as well, right? They've been building a new app on a structure that was 20. This is one of the reasons why they couldn't release on time. And it's on us. We have the rules that same technical depth from 1 to 1.5 significant impact, and you can see that 70% voted like very significant impact or significant impact, 4 and 5. 70% of us struggle with technical depth that prevents innovation. That's a lot. Onboarding a new developer is a great metric for the amount of technical depth that you want. Time to first commit as a metric works with almost 100% correlation between this and technical depth. I recommend you start measuring it if you want. This is very enlightening. Because AI generates bad code, garbage in, garbage out, another research, 65, 46, and 31% of the time, this is the amount of time that AI got it right. So on average, 50% of the code AI generates actually generates code that is completely wrong. AI gets creative with technical depth. AI actually invents 4 new technical depth types that didn't exist when only humans wrote code. Now we have it thanks to AI. And obviously, complexity is the enemy of productivity, right? And security is a great example of that, because security is an extremely complicated topic that most developers are not proficient in. And when we have to deal with it, this is one of the reasons why we fail. And wrong features, as I already mentioned, because how the product managers know what the customers want? They don't. Product management is mostly guesswork. Survey that was supposed to show us how good the product managers are. And you can see here that 45% creating and modifying products and services based on analytics. What does it mean? More than a half of product managers, 55%, don't do that. And if they don't use analytics, what do they use? Guesswork. Guesswork. They just guess. They just guess, 55%. That's amazing. So one of the things, let's just do the different thing. For example, TikTokification of everything. Every app will becomes a TikTok now and do exactly the same thing. And this is scary. AI assistants everywhere, obviously. I recently discovered that I have AI assistant in my WhatsApp. If I scroll down to the list of contacts, there is Meta AI here, and apparently I had some conversation with it. I obviously never opened it, so I have no idea what this is about. But it heard something and it replied to me with something. I have no idea what's going on. All right, let's fix some of it in the remaining 7 seconds that I have. First of all, not everything can be fixed, and not everything can be fixed by us. And this is where we need to understand what battles we can pick. And I will give you some of the battles that are definitely your control and can definitely make your life easier. So first of all, productivity. Basically, how can we write more code? Remember, a build that takes 25 minutes. If it's longer than 2 minutes, keep it 2 minutes. Faster feedback, fast fixes. If you minimize the loops, you will have better code because you know what you did wrong faster and you can react. Automation is absolutely critical. And this is your domain. When you say, well, this is how we always done it, it's manual. No, go for it, change it. And you know what? Use AI to write a script. It will be much faster and it's not production critical. So if AI makes mistakes, it's not the end of the world, but automate everything that you can automate. You didn't see that coming. Sleep is the only way to restore mental capacity. Power nap is a hack that allows you to restore much more mental capacity than the amount of sleep that you give. You don't need 8 hours to restore 80% of your mental capacity. You can do 20 minutes. Distractions. Distractions are obviously terrible. I don't know that. What I can give you is a couple of tips of how to do it. This is one of my favorite of all time. It's called Reclaim AI. And that's a calendar manager that is smart enough to do 2 impossible things. From one side, it protects your time. You can define how much focus time you need during a day or during a week, and it will do its best to give you this time. Then you can say, you know, I don't need anything smart. I can just block my entire calendar. 9 hours every day I block, and I won't be distracted. But you know that it doesn't work that way. People need your attention. People need to meet with you. The only question is, how do you do it smart? So Reclaim will give you focus time, but also will make you available as much as possible. The way it works is your calendar looks open to everybody. But as meetings start to pile up, it will start blocking the critical time that you need, up to a point that at the end of the day, people won't be able to block more meetings this week and will have to use the next week that will again, in the beginning, will look completely open. That's smart. There is some AI in it, but what I mean by say that. So there are a lot of AI tools that actually help us. and picking the right ones for a job, the correct job is critical, and specialized autonomous agents are a very powerful way to utilize AI smartly. And obviously local networks are less wasteful than general networks, and sometimes this is exactly what you need. Couple of examples that I find very productive is agentic agents, as I mentioned, stuff like JetBrains Juni and WeSurf and Agent Mode VS Code allows us to let AI create code for us. It doesn't remove our responsibility or our expertise to find the 50% which is wrong and actually make it right. But again, this allows us to generate code smartly a lot. And Cursor is also there, obviously. Keep it in check, right? That's the big part. How do we prevent AI from generating 50% of wrong code? We don't let it hallucinate by using MCP servers that will give structured response instead of just any information out there. And the most important MCP server out there that revolutionized of how AI generates code called Context 7. Context 7 allows AI to get up-to-date documentation at code samples from the official documentation instead of hallucinations or general search that will yield wrong results. This what makes AI get it right on a first try every time. Trust me, I tried it, it's magic. Others, GitHub, again, we use GitHub a lot. Instead of letting AI guess what is the right flags on bisect command, you can just have MCP server that will do the right thing, and MCP, that what used to be Puppeteer, gives AI the ability to test visual code. It can open up a browser, run applications, take screenshots, and then know what it has done so it can fix it. All three are the most critical MCPs of today's AI to make it do the right thing and make you productive. Agile. Well, yes, you all know Agile, and why would anyone bother with Agile? That's not, but I think the Agile I'm going to mention is not the Agile that you think. Basic principles of Agile, not the Scrum daily meeting. And just to remind you, what are the basic principles of Agile? React better than me. Do the thing and then fix what needs to be fixed. Decide late but not too late. This is critical. When you need to make a decision about something, you defer it until the last possible moment, because this is where you will have more information. But then you decide and you do the thing and react. And make choices that are easy to undo. This goes into management as well. Small experiments are the way to win. You try stuff, and if it doesn't work, both in technology or user interaction, you just try something else, and done is better than perfect. Do something instead of being in the decision paralysis. Mark Schwartz is one of my favorite authors of the topic of Agile, but in the broader scheme of things. Here a lot of books. If you need to pick just a couple to read, I would recommend The Art of Business Value. That's about product features that really matters, and War, Peace, and IT. And this is about Agile in a broader scheme of things. DevOps. DevOps, to talk about is exactly DevOps that you think about. DevOps engineers do not exist. DevOps is a huge mistake. What does exist is DevOps as a philosophy, and DevOps is about working together and not creating chaos. Automate all things, already spoke about it. Release often. That means if you don't do it right, you need to it's not painful anymore. And feature flags are better than branch head, and this is better discrimination. You can turn features on and off on it. Right, write good code. That sounds actionable, right? But actually, Sandra already told us everything about it in the keynote. So just rewatch his keynote and you will know how to write good code. My suggestions will be don't be the guy that writes code that everybody else, including yourself, in 6 months about who idiot that wrote it. Readable is better than clever. If it calls for a comment, it's a bad code. Refactor, bad code never gets better with time. If you see bad code, fix it right now. And technical get depth will kill you before kill it before it kills you. And obviously use monads, right, Sandra? Yeah, use monads. Right, write docs, find docs. Documentation is source of truth when it is updated. The problem is we don't know where it is and how to find it. There are solutions AI, this is Naboo, for example, that brings documentation into where you are. So if you write code and this code was mentioned or a part of it was mentioned in some document, you will see this document pop up right there so you can understand what this code is about and why. Negative thinking is a terrible thing. Optimists are happier and deliver better results. But in the code, you really should start negatively about it. Because hackers love optimistic developers. When we only think about happy path, we leave a lot of space for hackers to come in and get stuff. Error handling, obviously, again, something that we usually don't think that will happen with our code. The back pressure and all this stuff is also critical. Monitoring, when things go bad, you want to know about it before you just complain on the internet, so we do that. The biggest thing is the unknown unknowns. And again, that's what Sander spoke about and quoted Rumsfeld, I think, about the unknown unknowns. Yes. So, yeah, do that. Think about it. Security, as I already mentioned, it's very, very complicated. And we, as developers, don't know all the answers, but the management decides that it's up to us to do it. What we can do with unknowns is delegate. For example, you can delegate security to tax care in terms of endless life support, but generally security consultants, security tools, and through every complicated stuff you have to deal with is generally a very good idea. And surprisingly, you need to help your business to screw less. And for that, you need to talk the talk. They think of you as weird people that they need to control because they don't understand you. If you speak their talk, for example, instead of faster release, faster time to market, it will make them very relatable. Sarcasm, people live and breathe, that's usually management hates it. So turn it down. And surprises are bad. If you think about this release is going to be late, but you know what? Fuck it, I won't say anything. It will end up badly for you as well. So flag things. And yes, meetings suck. What you can do in order to prevent meetings? Send emails. If you communicate in one form, you will probably get a response in the same form. So if you want to say something and you don't want it to become a meeting, write an email. So everything is terrible, but it doesn't have to be. It's not that you, Enshittification is productivity and managerial decisions are to blame for a lot of it. And you, as a developer, can help. So with that, thank you very much. @JBaruch everywhere. This is Voxxed Luxembourg. Mention them when you have something to say about this talk on socials. And speaking.jbaruch, the slides, the video, and all the links for everything, all the blog posts, all the books, everything is at speaking.jbaruch. Thank you. We don't have any time for questions, I guess, but you know what? I'm here, so feel free to ask anything you like.